On the new year, I done a video titled "How Banks Keep You Poor and What You Can Do to Outsmart Them," and that video went viral, and a number of people watched it, and then they contacted me. They wanted to find out specifics, what they could do to help themselves in this new year. And I really did say it in that video, but I'm just going to summarize it again here. Now, it's very easy. Anybody can make money. You don't have to be in the United States or in the United Kingdom or in Europe or Canada. You can make money from where you are. The world has changed vastly. And a lot of these people who contacted me saying that they have $1,000, how will I recommend that they spend that money or invest that money? Now, if you have $1,000, now here's what I'm going to suggest. You try my quadrant system. My quadrant system. Now, the reason why I call it a quadrant system is because you're going to break your $1,000 into four places. So you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. You don't want to do that. Even if you're so sure of that basket, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So you want to diversify your portfolio. And then basically what you want to do is you want to take that $1,000 and you want to divide it into four. So that's going to be $250 a piece. Now you take the first quadrant of that and then you invest it in a fund, maybe an ETF or a mutual fund linked to the S&P 500. Now, I'm just going to give my suggestion. This is an opinion. You don't have to go with this. You can go with anyone. But I will suggest that maybe you try the Vanguard 500 ETF UCITS. Now, the ticker name on the stock market. So if you go on the New York Stock Exchange, the ticker name is going to be VUSA. That is VUSA. VUSA. So that's what you want to do. Now, the reason why I picked that one is because it is tied to the S&P 500 index. So it mirrors the index. Now, if you look at the 105-year history of the S&P 500 index, this is probably the safest way of making money on earth. And so last year they gave a return on your investment of about 23.31%. So if you put in $1,000, you're going to get $231.31. So if you put in a quarter of that you're going to just divide that by four. So it's really a safe way to make money. Now, over the years, there's been times when the S&P 500 has dropped, but it's few and far between. Like dramatic events happen, like maybe COVID, or maybe there's been a war, like the war in Ukraine, but it's quite rare. So it's a safe way to make money. Now, you take the next quadrant because now you've put your money in an ETF that's linked to the S&P 500. So you got $750 left. So you take the next one. Now, what do? You want to invest in crypto. Now, when you invest in crypto, I know that there is a lot of money to be made by these new meme coins that are fly by night. But here's the thing: there's about 27,000 crypto, and not all of them are going to be successful. Not all of them are even genuine. Some of these guys are fraudsters. So they know how to pump people. They pay social media people, people who have a large following, and then they pump it, and then the prices go up, and all of a sudden, boom, you lost your money. So just focus on the coins that are established. So you're going to focus on Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, and maybe you want to focus on a meme coin like Dogecoin. So Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, and a meme coin like maybe Dogecoin. If you want to add a fifth, you can also go with Ethereum. So here's the thing: you want to put your money in that. So the next $250, you put your money there. Now, don't put your money there and then every hour you start checking. You start checking. No, that's not how it's going to work. If you do that, you're just going to have hypertension, high blood pressure. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. I mean, if you recall, if you're a regular subscriber of my X platform or YouTube, I told people just before the election, I said, look, go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to explode because I think Donald Trump is going to win. And if Donald Trump wins, Bitcoin is going to explode. At that time, it was traded at under $60,000. And then, boom, Donald Trump won. And then Bitcoin went over $100,000. So people basically doubled their money in under a week. That could happen. But you don't have a bull run every time. But what we know for certain is that the bull run will eventually come. So just put your money there and then go to sleep, go to work, continue your quotidian activities. The money is going to make money for you. I mean, nobody can say I assure you, but I can almost say I assure you. So just leave it there. Now you take the next quadrant. What do you want to do with the next quadrant? You want to do because you see, you got the S&P 500, which has generated last year 23.31% return on investment. But within the S&P 500, there are some companies which are called the Magnificent Seven, which are the seven largest corporations by market cap on the S&P 500, which are going to be Apple, which are going to be Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, Meta. These are going to be the companies that you want to go for. These seven companies, the largest, and then NVIDIA, I forgot to mention that. So what you want to do is that you want to take the next $250 and just individually invest in these companies. You don't have to buy a full stock. You can buy fractional stock. So invest in these companies, invest in those companies, leave your money there. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because you see, last year the S&P 500 made an ROI of 23.31. But the Magnificent Seven, these seven companies I've listed, they made an ROI of 64%. Now, in the previous year, which is going to be 2023, they made an ROI of 75%. So you can see that their ROI vastly outperforms the S&P 500. So obviously, there's going to be more risk involved. But if you look at the 10 to 15-year history of the Magnificent Seven, the risk, yes, there's risk, but it's quite minimal. So I will tell you, put the next $250 there. Now you've got the last quadrant, the last $250. What are you going to do with it? There's something called a real estate investment trust. It's not. It's kind of a boring way to invest money because basically what you get every year, you get a rate on your return on your investment of about between 8 to 12%. Between 8 to 12%, it varies, but just along that line, 8 to 12%. So what you just do, put your money there, and the best one is going to be American Tower Corporation. But there are several real estate investment trusts. But in my opinion, the best is going to be American Tower Corporation. Just put your money there. Now, it has never happened that all of these four investments that I've told you about have collapsed at the same time. In fact, it's never even happened that two out of the four have collapsed at the same time. I mean, the most that can happen, maybe one might just have trouble for a short period of time. So by the time you spread your money in these four quadrants, in these four investments, it's literally impossible for you to lose money. So your money just keeps on growing. And then you don't want to even just take your money out at the end of the year when your money has grown. What you want to do is that, look, you leave your money there because you don't need the money. Only liquidate your investments when you need the money. Now, if you watch this, you've got questions arising or from this or need specifics. What you can do is that you can subscribe to me on the X platform. I will teach you how to go about this personally. I'll hold your hands. You cannot subscribe to me on the X platform and not make money. It's impossible. I've got the most subscribers on X of anybody in Africa. Nobody has more subscribers than me. And that's because I deliver. I've got a master's in international banking and finance law. I will help you make money. Now, this is Apostle of Prosperity, Reverend Murphy. Thank you for watching and may God bless you.